So today is December 28th, Monday at, I don't know, almost 11 a.m. Just wanted to come on here and document my experience with Best Buy auto install. I had an appointment on December 26th at 12:30 p.m. and they ended up keeping my car for over 24 hours to install a radio and a backup camera, and they were not able to install it. So today's the 28th. I'm at a different Best Buy trying to make an appointment so that they can install it correctly. Here's what they were able to install. They got the unit in, but they have left some screws out. The USB is in the wrong place. I told them to put it in the center console. They put it here and it is loose and unsecure, which means they cut my 12 volt car extension, and so that's now disconnected. I don't know what they did with that live wire. There's a big gap here where it doesn't sit flush, probably because these screws weren't installed. And instead of installing the mic in the mic housing like I asked, which is right here, they installed it about 5 inches away right here. And now there's this part of my trim that won't close in. And the worst part about it is I can't access any settings on my radio. So I go to settings, everything's grayed out because it's supposed to be attached to the parking brake. Instead, I'm assuming they grounded the wire out. It needs a pulse and a signal in order to access settings. If they grounded the wire out, then none of these settings are accessible. I can't even hook up Bluetooth. You can even see when I press my emergency brake, which I just did, and release it, nothing is happening. That's usually the way settings are accessible, but because they didn't wire it correctly, that is inoperable. They also installed a backup camera. Let's see how it works. Reverse. Oh, nothing happened. The backup camera is not working. So overall, it was just a pretty horrible experience. I've been at Best Buy for over, I don't know, 8 hours on the 26th and 3 hours on the 27th, and now I'm here on the 28th, waiting for this one to open so I can talk to them. Hopefully they can resolve this. I want my 12 volt car adapter back because this isn't where I wanted it placed. I wanted the USB placed in the center console where there's room for it. I want the mic installed correctly. I want the radio to have setting capability. I want my backup camera to work. And so far it's been about 28 hours of just wanting them to install it correctly. So I just thought I would document this just in case it's needed. Again, I had an appointment on the 26th at the Dorchester location on 14 Allstate Road. Now I'm at the Braintree location, where they asked me to head because they don't know how to finish that install. So they asked me to come to Braintree and try to get my car in here. Right now it's looking like the Braintree location online is booked until February 14th. I'm hoping they can get me in sooner since my appointment was already supposed to be completed. So we'll see how that goes. Wish me luck. So I forgot to mention in my last video how worried I am about having to expose myself for this long. I had to sit in the store for around 7 hours on the 26th of December. As this vehicle is my only mode of transportation. So I was willing to wait it out and have them complete it. But unfortunately, they asked to keep it overnight, and I was forced to take public transportation home. Or not public transportation, I took an Uber home for the first time since February of 2020. So that was a little worrisome. I'm really hoping I don't have to go inside the store today to get this resolved. I would like to resolve it at either the bay right behind me, or hopefully someone at the very front of the store can help me, as I'm tired of going inside the store and possibly exposing myself to COVID. So I just really hope they can get this installed. They really talk about safety and procedures in all of the emails I've been receiving for this install. You know, all of the installers that I spoke to on the 26th and the 27th were wearing masks, but I don't think they were spraying down the car or anything like that. So it has me a little worried, kind of kicking myself in the foot, because you know, I really could have installed this myself and decided to go with Best Buy just for convenience, and it's turned out to be anything but a convenience. I really hope they can resolve this. I'm not looking for any money back or anything. I just want this completed and done correctly. So again, wish me luck. We'll see how today goes. All right, so I just wanted to give an update. It's currently December 28th, around 7:30 p.m. I got a chance to look at the radio. Best Buy was closed, so I decided to look into it myself and see what the issue was. I pulled out the radio, and the backup camera harness wasn't connected. So I connected the harness, connected the input to the harness, but the wire that needs to run to either the shifter, the reverse shifter, or the reverse taillights is completely wrapped up and not connected. So it's not triggering the backup camera. So that wire needs to be ran in order for the camera to start working. So that needs to be done. I also found that they did not connect the parking wire to the emergency brake, which is why I was not able to access any settings. I've gone ahead and installed a micro bypass myself in order to access those settings, and I connected that to the parking brake, the ground, and the remote start wire. So that's working. I went ahead and wired the USB extension to the center console instead of the dash like I had wanted, and was able to reconnect the 12-volt input back into the dash, which they had removed. So I corrected that. So the only things that need to be done now are put the mic extension into the factory mic housing, and then of course run the backup camera reverse light wires and connect those so that the camera starts when it's in reverse. They also didn't know how to install a camera to the front of the car, so hopefully when I get an appointment for the Best Buy in Braintree, they can run the front camera, because I had bought 2 cameras for them to install, one for the front, one for the back, and they just did not even know how to approach the front camera. So hopefully Best Buy can install the front camera for me without any issues. And that's it. I should have taken video and photos, but I just wanted to get it all done. So we'll see what this week holds. Hopefully they can get me in and get those cameras working. But other than that, I'm happy with the micro bypasses working. I can access all my settings, and I was able to run that USB into the center console. So everything's starting to look how I want it. Just fix the mic, get the cameras working, and should be all set. So I'm in my parking garage in my apartment complex, and I went to check out the camera install that Best Buy did on my car. There's a backup camera. Let me just show you what I found. So they've gone ahead and mounted this backup camera, and here's kind of the back of the car. There's a chip in the paint right there, and then if you can see here, this is kind of just hanging on by a thread. All loose. So they must have broken some kind of clip there's something there. And if you can see this side, completely flush, not loose at all. So hopefully they can fix that. This has really turned out to be a nightmare. I'm gonna need something for this. Maybe they can get some touch-up paint for that chip there. But it's a bummer. This is really starting to suck. I can look through there and there's some exposed wires, so I don't know if I should seal that off or if they can fix that. I'm not too confident with their ability at this moment, but we'll see. All right, so today is Tuesday the 29th. I'm in my car. I'm gonna try to check out and see what's wrong with this camera. Been on hold for Best Buy for about an hour. They keep saying they're gonna get back to me and call me back and reschedule that appointment at Braintree since they're better at their job, instead of Southbay, which is where I had the work done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at it and see what's going on. I mean, it can't be that hard. Directions are pretty clear. That came with the camera, and that's been provided to them as well. So in my car now, trying to figure it out. I'm pretty sure something's wrong with the trigger wire, that they either connected it wrong or it's just not connected at all. So let's take a look. Okay, one piece out. Yeah, it's a bummer too that they cracked the back of my car. I mean, the reason I paid for the professional install is because I thought it would be a professional install. You know, I've done radios myself and backup cameras myself before, and I just didn't want to go through it again, especially, you know, in the winter, the lack of light. But c'est la vie. Let's see here. Moving that out of the way. Oop. The radio works. I was able to figure out the settings issue, and I was able to connect the wire that they didn't connect to the parking, so that's all set. One less thing they have to do if I ever get an appointment. Let's see here. So now I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So there's some bolts in there. I'm just declamping it. I'm going to take a look at the wiring and see where that camera leads to. Sorry for blinding you guys with my headlight flashlight, but there's really bad lighting down here. This is a bummer. Okay, one screw out. Next screw out. Oh, and they also missing 2 screws at the bottom of this radio, so I don't know if they misplaced them or it looks like one of the screw housings came off, and so they probably couldn't screw it back in. Okay, radio is out. Let's check out these trigger wires. All right, trigger wire to camera needs to be connected to the trigger wire. So here's the trigger wire on the camera, and it is connected to the power supply. Well, the power supply for this camera, that's incorrect. So let's see. Where's the instructions here? So the power supply, I'll show you guys here. Power supply clearly shows, so here's the camera, power right here, goes in the back, And the main plug has a trigger wire, which is red, but that's supposed to be connected to the radio's purple wire. And right now it looks like it's connected to the actual power supply, so that needs to not happen. Let me see if I can find the trigger wire on this camera. First sub. Where's my manual? The radio's manual. See what the reverse trigger wire looks like. Okay. Reverse trigger wire, orange and white. Here's an orange and white wire that has not been tapped into at all. So let's do it. Put the car off. Really should disconnect the battery. Let's see what we got. Disconnect these wires. Okay. I don't know if I have any tape. See if I can shut that. All right, here's the trigger wire. Let's see here. I just need a female connector. Can't believe I'm in my own car doing this after I paid for it. All right, so I'm gonna strip this wire. Make sure all my tools don't fall out. There we go. Strip the, let me make sure. It said trigger wire is orange and white. Yes, orange and white. Got it. Okay, here, let me show you guys. So here's the orange and white wire that has not even been tapped into at all. Here is where the red wire originally was. I removed that red wire, which is now here. And I'm gonna put it onto I got a connector here. I'm gonna put it onto the orange wire. And we should have a working backup camera if they wired it right in the back. I'm assuming this is the only issue from the front, so we will see. All right, where are my crimpers? Got my cheap little crimpers here. Okay, make sure that's connected. Yep. I should just be able to slide this in. Make sure I'm not crossing any wires here. Okay. All right. Okay, so I've connected the orange and white wire, which is the reverse trigger, to the trigger wire coming from the camera input. a shot. Let's give it a shot. I'm not gonna hook everything back until I know it's working. I'm just trying to get it into a place where it's steady. All right, car keys. Moment of truth. All right. Radio works and reverse. Okay, well, it triggered the camera, but I don't have picture from the camera. So something's wrong. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Wish I could flip it around while it's recording. Anyways, so there's the radio. Before, when I backed up, nothing happened, but now when I put it in reverse, the camera's triggered. So one step closer. I wonder what this does. We don't have a front camera. So, I mean, assuming their track record, I'm guessing they didn't either correctly find a ground or they didn't correctly power it on using the other red wire near the actual camera. So that camera needs power, not from the radio, it needs it from the back. So let me see what this camera instructions say. It says wire D needs to be connected to the reverse lamp, which makes sense. So it needs power from the reverse lamp lights. So that's what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna do it myself and see if they have power to that. Wish me luck. I'm so tired. I figured out why the camera's not working. Here's the camera, right? Beautiful, nicely mounted. Here are the wires. Completely severed. There's zero connection. It's completely severed. So when they forced this screw back into the hole, I don't know if you can see that. I'm holding multiple things. Let me take a different video. They fed the wire through the hole that this bolt goes through. And that amount of pressure completely, I mean, the ridge of the metal completely severed the connection to the camera. I mean, this is insane. So I don't even know if I have the tools to wire that all back up because they're just such small wires. But that's why it's not working. All right, final update. Today is Tuesday the 29th at 8:35 p.m. I found that the wire was severed to the backup camera. Luckily, I had bought the identical same camera that they should have installed into the front of the car, but they didn't know how. So the part that was severed, I was able to replace using the other camera that I had purchased. And instead of feeding it through the hole that they fed the wire through, I fed it through the grommet that's half an inch away from that hole. So I fed the wire through that grommet. Everything looks good. Everything's working properly. Connected it all, rewired it all, and decided once that was done to pack up my tools and head to Best Buy and kind of, talk to them. I was still waiting for them to make the appointment for me like they said they would. So I drove over there, And again, the guys didn't even want to talk to me or hear from me. They said, let me just call my manager. So they called their manager, and they ended up canceling my tech support, my what is it called, total tech support from Best Buy, to give me a refund. However, I still wanted to use the total tech support, so that was a big ordeal. I ended up having to stay at the store for about an hour and 15 minutes so that they can refund me the total tech support, but then I had to pay for total tech support again, but they took $50 off, and then they're filing a claim for the part that broke on my the license plate area, that one clip that broke that made the piece loose. Anyways, I was there for about an hour and 15 minutes trying to get that resolved. I can't believe everything I've gone through just to get a backup camera and radio installed, especially from a place like Best Buy, who's known for all of their, Geek Squad tech and installation services. So definitely be wary if you end up going to the Best Buy in Southbay, because those guys are definitely new. I don't want to give them a hard time or anything, but if you're new like that, you shouldn't be doing it unsupervised. At the bare minimum, just follow the instructions on the that comes with the product. So at the end of the day, I got a refund, but what I really wanted was just for them to do it correctly. Would I do it again through Best Buy? Never. I'll never do it again. It's one of those things where if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. I guess that's why we should go to specialized shops who deal with this on a daily basis instead of big corps. But I can just say I'm very disappointed, and better luck next time. I hope it's a learning experience for them. However, the installers didn't really want to hear what I had to say, so felt bad for the poor worker who was trying to help me with all the refund and stuff, and didn't really work with the installers directly to resolve the issue. They just kind of pushed me to the manager. But yeah, so resolve that. I have a non-functional camera that's completely cut in half, so I don't know if I can salvage that or if I can somehow get the manufacturer to refund me on that. I don't know how to, since that camera wasn't bought at Best Buy, I don't really know how to kind of fix that issue, but everything's working. I can make a video of what it all looks like outside of this whole segment of Best Buy issues. I'll upload another video of how everything looks and the Alpine radio and the backup camera and how that all works. So anyways, thanks for sitting through this with me. And if you guys choose to use Best Buy, best of luck. I would just maybe inquire to see if the guys that are doing your service have done it before. The guy did end up telling me it was his first day on the job. So I guess that's what you get when you've never done it before. Oh well. All right. Thanks for listening, and I hope that it gets better in the future. Bye, everyone.